Got a question for you today. Good morning. It's not a theoretical question. Well, usually all of the questions here are not theoretical. Look at how dark that is. The window I'm referring to. It's kind of matching. Look at how black it is over here. And yet we have dry, which is beautiful, because if we didn't have dry, I couldn't be outside here with the camera. And I wouldn't be outside either for my own reasons. And yet there's a little break there with light coming through. A couple of breaks in that wall of black. So we're going to have a moment of beautiful light, I think. And then all that cloud is going to eat it up. It's amazing to see all this heavy cloud. Although actually the whole way around it's not raining. Over to the hills, they're just south of Lebanon. You can see them clearly, so it's not raining there. But I don't think the rain is far away. Here it seems to be broken nevertheless for a while. So we'll get a little walking done. Maybe we might even just stay here on our Magdala site to do that. Oh, there's the sun. Look. It's right there on the left of the light. Let's go and see the effect on the water, because we won't have it for long. In a way, that's how our life is. Our life is fleeting. It's going very fast. So let us use it well. Let us use this time well. Let us live to the full. Wow, that's nice. We want to see the reflection on the water. Oh, the fishermen are over there and they have a light on. Look at the fishermen. They have a light on. Let's get them closer in a moment. You know, there's something that stirs my heart when I see fishermen on the Sea of Galilee. I imagine it's the same for you. We just, since we were little children, we grew up with stories of the fishermen on the Sea of Galilee, the storm on the sea, the tough times they had. And at home, you know, we were very close to the sea, to the Atlantic. It was 7 miles to Kinvara, but actually the Atlantic Ocean was even closer. It was probably a little over 3 miles from us, Galway Bay. And there were fishermen, and you'd always hear of tragedies, drowning tragedies around the coast of Ireland. And there were stories about that in the literature as well. Look at that beautiful light. Let's enjoy this light while we have it. It's just so beautiful. And I want you to see something else for a second as well, which we'll only have for a second, because once it gets brighter we won't have it. And that is to notice the light the fishermen are using. And I think they use it to draw the fish for some reason. You can see the light they have there. Look. I still have to understand why they have all that light. And actually, I'm trying to discern if the light is with them or beyond them. But it could be theirs on a pole at the end of the boat. But let's go back to the sun while we still have it. Oh, that's beautiful. And now the sun itself is gone from my eyes here. Basically, there's a little bit left. Yeah, there's still a little bit there. It's going to be just for a couple more moments. So you can have your beautiful screenshots. I hope you use those screenshots for sending to friends and different people occasionally with little greetings, raise their spirits, invite them to come along, to join us on the stroll in the morning. Tell them they don't have to worry too much about shoes, or just dress a little warm for this time of the year. Although today it's not that chilly, it's 13 degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius. So that means it's about 2.5, about 50, mid-50s Fahrenheit, which could even be summer weather in Ireland at times. And we're finishing up this month of January. Amazing, another month and a new year. The first month of January. Today is a great day also for our memory of an extraordinary man who lived over 100 and, well, he was born almost 200 years ago. I'd have to check the dates on him. Bosco. And oh, how beautiful that light. We have the sun again. See, you can see that with the path on the lake. That really helps you to see that the sun is really shining there. And Bosco was an incredible guy. He had an eye for children growing up in troubled areas, in poor areas, getting into mischief, getting into trouble. We need a lot of guys like Bosco around today. And he started looking after a few of them, and suddenly he had a whole bunch of them around him. And then he got a school going, but he did it very practical for these kids, you know. So he taught them trades, and the school was actually like a home for them. It was a playground for them. It was a place where they also had that spirituality, where they could meet God. Well, the sun gets extra bright when the clouds are going to swallow it up. It's almost like the faith of the martyrs. The more clouds that come in on them, the more oppression, their faith shines. It shines. Now, Bosco wasn't a martyr, but he was incredibly dedicated. And he's really one of the great lights of the 19th century. And obviously a lot of people followed him. And eventually he set up a community for them as well. And then that obviously multiplied his work all around the world, and they're in all kinds of countries. And he's known as Don Bosco. Don in that case isn't a first name. It's the Italian usage referring to a priest. So Don Bosco. And he was up in the Turin area of northern Italy. But his work is all over the world. It became one of the biggest communities ever in the Catholic Church. And because of the need for that service as well. All those cormorants doing their scouting trip before they eat up all the fish, little fish, the small ones, the young ones. So there was Don Bosco, you know, to have that eye for a practical solution for a major problem. Great story. So I have a big question for you today I want you to ponder. Please help me. There's a fisherman out there as well, a fisherman's boat. And we have our other one here with the light. Where are you? Come on, guys. Oh, yeah, they're very close to us now. And they still have the light. Look at that. Interesting. Yeah, we got more light than I thought. I thought it would swallow up faster. But I don't think it's going to last for too long. And we got these birds up here as well. We got a lot to chew on today in the sacred scripture. We'll get there in a moment. But I have a big question for you. And I want you to ponder the question. And on Wednesday and Thursday, we started to do a little Lectio Divina. And I'm getting some questions and some proposals. And I'd like to ask all of you who are interested to answer to please comment. You can do that. Let's see how we do that. If you want to send it on the WhatsApp, because you have my WhatsApp number in the link inside, you have access to my WhatsApp number. You can send me a message and I can reply to you. And I would like to hear about the Lectio Divina, because it's not everybody's cup of tea. So we have to discern and ponder how we're going to do that. And I'd really appreciate your input, because it's for you. You know, all this is for you. I mean, I like coming out in the morning to see the sunrise and get nice pictures, but this is for you guys. So you have to tell me how you, what you want, how you like it, and maybe we'll find a great way to do this. Look at all that light they're generating there. These fishermen. Now, I think we might have still some spectacular moments here. Yeah, there's going to be another moment when the sun goes up a little bit higher, just a fraction, and then we'll have this beautiful reflection. I didn't ever see all that number of those birds there coming in and going out. So I see there are more people now, and I'm happy about that, because I want to give you that question as well. Please, we started on Wednesday, and Friday we did a little Lectio Divina method. And I've got some reactions, and I need you to help me to discern. So maybe you're already posting something, I haven't been paying attention there, but it's something to think about, to ponder, and to see how much you want it, or maybe for some of you, you prefer a different way, and we have to think how we'll do this, okay? You don't have to write the answers now, and maybe I'd almost prefer you put them into the WhatsApp, or maybe also in Messenger. I don't get to Messenger every day, but maybe that's a place to put it as well. I'm dwelling here a little bit because this light is so beautiful. And you see, God wrote 2 books. He wrote, obviously we have sacred scripture, right? Through the agency of human writers. But he created the world. And the world is a big word, you know. Let it be. Let there be light. Night and day. Water and earth. Let there be growth, plants, living beings, and animals, all kinds, and fish, and birds. So this is all speaking of God's genius. There's a kid in Mexico, he was actually did a specialist study year in Jerusalem in classical music. Maybe it was more than a year. This is like about 10 or 12 years ago. Maybe, yeah, probably around that time. And he was an engineer, but he just had this passion for music, and now he's a composer. He composes for television and other things. And he just wrote theme music for The Pilgrimage. And why did I want to say that? Gosh, I had an idea and it's gone from my mind. There was some connected thought there that I just lost. Forgive me, people. There's a time in life when that probably starts happening. So the peace of Galilee, how nature speaks to us here. So the reading from Deuteronomy, Moses is talking about this whole idea of the encounter with God. This is the basic subject matter here. And how people, we have this longing for God, but also this fear of God. And especially if we have a very divided heart, it's not easy to meet God. It's like a little child, put their hand in the cookie jar and they weren't supposed to. And mom comes into the kitchen and the child doesn't know where to go because there's some crumbs on the table and the cookie jar. Soldier's doing a lot of stretching this morning. You just missed a big stretch there right now. And so many times we've put our hand in the cookie jar and we think of God, we are scared. If you want one very heavy-duty sledgehammer to smash that scary part, then look at Christ crucified, what God did for us. Or look at Christ risen from the dead. Or read the Beatitudes here from the Mount of Beatitudes, which is right there in the very center of the screen at the moment. And that'll help to smash up the scare. But back then, they had this very strong experience of Mount Sinai. Here we have fishermen on the left and the sunlight on the right. And they said they never wanted to talk to God directly again. They were so scared. They didn't want to see the fire in the mountain, but they had made a golden calf, you see, so there is a very divided heart here as well. And God says to them, that he will raise up a prophet like Moses. And then it goes into the issue of prophets and how there can be false prophets. I'm intrigued by that light there in the boat. Isn't that a beautiful valley in front of us there with the morning light? And up that valley is a recently discovered synagogue. And Keshatot is the name of the place. Keshet is an arch, so Keshatot, the arches. And it's a Byzantine era synagogue, so in the 4th, 5th century, and it's been restored through computer study. And they were able to put all the stones back together again. It's an amazing study they did with the computers. So the people says, let us not again hear the voice of the Lord our God. Can you imagine? Like a child doesn't want to hear the father's voice or the mother's voice. And the Lord said to me, that was well said. I will raise up for them a prophet like you. So the whole idea of a mediation with God, in a certain sense, that's what creation is. All of, like this light in the morning is a mediation. It points towards the Creator. And we're here in front of it. and we enter into communion with the Creator through creation. So it's like in between the two. It's a mediator. It reflects God's goodness, but it's like having, you can't look at the sun without sunglasses, and strong sunglasses at times. So it's a way of seeing it in a less powerful way that we're not equipped to see directly. Like you can see here. If you want to see Mount Arbel, let me show you. There's Mount Arbel. But it's a reflection in the lake. And this is the real Mount Arbel. You see, there's a big difference. And yet it's the same Mount Arbel that's reflected in the lake, in the water. You can see all these reeds here, but they're upside down because they're a reflection in the water of these reeds that are real. The reflection is real, but the reflection is just pointing to the real reeds that are above the water. And so all of creation is a reflection of God, and it's where we meet Him. And probably then the greatest place we can meet God in nature, in creation, is in His image, those made in His image and likeness. The person right beside you now, maybe you're having a relaxing moment before resting for the night, and if you're in the Western Americas, or maybe you're getting up in the morning and somebody just made coffee for you. And that person is a reflection of God's presence in your lives. And so the prophets then were very special, chosen messengers of God to speak for Him. And Moses was like that. And he wasn't just a speaking prophet in that sense, he was a doing prophet, because he went to the Pharaoh and he led the people out. And he instructed them, he taught them, he formed them, but it was God's doing, but yet it was also Moses' doing. And we could take it a step further, what's the Bible many people are going to read? It's you. Because they'll never read the Bible. You do. Every day. You're in touch with God, with His Word, you become familiar with it. And you mightn't even use words out of the Bible. You mightn't even tell them a single story out of the Bible, because these people just can't hear it. They don't want to hear it. But you're there. Your life is a word from God for them. Your patience, your kindness, your forgiveness, your service, even within a marriage. Most of the Bible you read together in marriage is the kindness between you. The Bible the children read, let's say from 0, the day they're born, until they're able to read. When is a child able to read a story from the Bible on their own? You might have some prodigy that does it at 2 or 3 or 4, but, like most of us didn't start reading a text out of the Bible, like pick up a real physical Bible, which is a big book anyway, and open that up and find the place that's interesting to read for a child, So what Bible do the children read? The way their parents live. The reconciliation with which, all that reflection here, isn't that beautiful reflection? So maybe some people can't look up as far as above the Golan Heights, so you're seeing the sunlight and the water. And that's what the children are doing the first years of their lives. All children. They're reading in a Christian home, they're reading the Bible that their parents are living. In their love, in their service, in their kindness, in their affection, in their dialogue, in the mutual relationship between the parents, between the spouses. This is the Bible the children are learning. In the grandparents, when they come over and they see how their parents honor the grandparents. They honor their mom and dad. So, they mightn't even know that there's such a thing as a fourth commandment. But they're the living Bible. The living Bible is so important. And then there's a treatment of the whole issue of prophets and good prophets and bad prophets. And now the time is kind of gone. I need to ask you this question, people. Please send me your comments in the next day or two. about this experience of Lectio Divina that we did last Wednesday and Friday. And I want your opinions, your thoughts. I have a couple of thoughts myself, but I want to hear your thoughts. Okie doke. So then we didn't get very far there. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Beautiful word from the Psalms. The Lord, let us kneel before the Lord who made us, for he is our God. We are the people he shepherds, the flock he guides. It turned out to be a beautiful light this morning. I didn't realize we'd have this whole time here. Oh, I'd love to comment more about the readings, the second reading, and then the gospel. Jesus over in Capernaum, which is over here. You know, see how the reeds are disappearing? A little bit of wind knocks down more, and soon, well, I guess that bush will block our view to Capernaum, but we can almost see it from here. It's right in the middle of the screen to the right of the Mount of Beatitudes, and that's where the story is from today. If we didn't have all this light, I would have gone over to the synagogue, because Jesus is in the synagogue in Capernaum. But we just love this light. And the people were astonished at Jesus' teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. And the man with the impure spirit. And so really for the community of disciples of Jesus, their experience is that Jesus is this prophet that was promised after Moses in a particular way. So people, it was just wonderful. You have your homework to do, a little reflection about the Lectio Divina. Don't forget to keep spreading the word about the pilgrimage. The numbers are growing. It's very encouraging. So we're dedicating a lot of time and energy, our team here in Magdala, to preparing an extraordinary, beautiful pilgrimage for you. God bless you. See you later, alligators. Have a beautiful Sunday.